Hi, I'm Stacy Dalton with the Collaborative for Family Education, and I wanted to walk you through one of the newsletters that we offer to the families that are part of your organization. This particular newsletter is for early childhood or elementary school age students and families. This is from September 2022, so it has a little bit more welcoming component to it, but this is just a brief overview. And again, we cater it for each organizational structure. So churches, businesses, older children, older families, younger families, they would each get a different newsletter. And again, this is from the beginning of the school year, so it has more of a welcoming component to it. We explain what the newsletter is all about and who we are briefly. These are some of the things that are included every month. Of course, it changes monthly, and we always welcome feedback from the subscriber on what they would also like to be included in the newsletters. Typically, we include some sort of fun facts, and that's just for an engagement purpose. And along the lines of engagement, we make it as interactive as possible. There will always be an interactive component. This one is a word cloud. Families can click on that link, go into the web page, type in a few words answering the question about what families need from schools. And again, it would change depending on what your organization is. But then I would update it regularly to reflect the results from that poll. We have a variety of social media sites and communication systems. Some schools use Parent Square or other programming that is involved with their student information systems. We try to tap into those, but even on the Facebook page, if you're not using our Facebook pages for communication, we would help you create one for this school and then provide you with content for that and polls and discussions to keep the parents engaged. Instead of just giving them one-way communication and information, we want them to respond and communicate with each other, do carpooling, discuss events, and really engage with each other. And that's how they feel supported, and that's how also the schools feel supported. So we help you set all of that up and manage that as well. Each newsletter will have a component of family education. This one is how to be a good listener. We will list simple steps, how to listen. These are just the examples: looking at the person with your eyes and body, waiting quietly, paying attention to what they are thinking and saying, and then doing something to let them know that you're listening, and then summarizing or repeating what was said. We also give videos. These are from YouTube, but everyone will be different depending on the age of the child. Again, this is for early childhood or primary, so it has Sesame Street and then some other videos that are more age appropriate. Of course, the links are live on the actual newsletter. And then practicing these skills at home. Again, I pause a little bit so you can read over these, but every newsletter will have these same components where it's the skills and then some video examples and then tips or ways to practice it at home. Every month, whatever the skill is that we're working on, we provide a live training or a webinar through Google Meet. And that would just be about 45 minutes to 90 minutes. Families, depending on your subscription level for your families, will receive that link. and they are welcome to sign in, participate with the live training. We do them on the evenings. For those who can't make it for the trainings, then we will send them the recording and they can scroll through it, and also the notes so they can read through it if they're not video watchers. And then at your subscription level, if you have signed up for us to help you manage your social media and put information out to families, then we would have additional discussion boards or polls, videos that correspond with our family education tip of the month. And so again, this one is how to be a good listener. We would provide other information for the families to follow up in different activities, give them a voice, give them an opportunity to ask questions or to give us feedback, to give the school feedback. Teachers can chime in. If you're a business owner, then other people can chime in. And it really just builds that sense of community. We also pick a different subject to just provide some tips and additional information on engaging and different ways that they can, because we want families to feel engaged at school, but then also they can help support school and learning at home. There's some books that they can do. So this one is about math. So we put out some books that talk about math. Parents can visit the local library to check those books out. Writing numbers, give them some examples of how to make that fun and practicing at home. Social studies, how to integrate math into the world out and about. And again, this is for younger children, people with younger families, or grandparents that are raising younger children. But the older students will have similar topics, but it'll be more catered for their age level. And then science ideas with math, and then of course math. And I just put a cooking thing in there. And so every newsletter will have a different subject focus. We might do reading, we might do science experiments, we might do writing experiments. And so we just try to switch this up a little bit, but making that connection between school and home a little bit stronger. And then we talk about mental health on every newsletter as well. September was Suicide Prevention Month, and that just gives a little bit of information about other trainings, as well as the suicide hotline, the crisis and suicide lifeline number. And then the homework tips. Homework, of course, doesn't have to be painful. It doesn't have to be awful. I personally don't believe in giving students homework, but that's just my teacher philosophy. I don't like to take work home, and I know children are exhausted. Lots of teachers give homework for a variety of reasons, but as a member of a school community, it is our responsibility as families to support that. And here's some tips to make it a little bit easier. And this is where I connect with other resources. This is not my resource, this is education.com. And families can click on that link to get more homework help tips. And then here's where they would get the information about the Google Meet link. And it just gives a brief information, gives the time and date, and then the link. And then hopefully they can come. It's presented by us, the Collaborative for Family Education, in partnership with your school, or it'd be in partnership with your business or your employer or your church or whatever it might be that you are subscribing from. And that's it. That's the newsletter. Sometimes I'll have a voiceover. We'll have different people doing voiceovers to just walk people through it. Sometimes it might be more in a newsletter, traditional form that could be printed. Sometimes it'll be these interactive ones, but the premise of the different tips and points are all going to be the same every month.